Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to get started with crocheting. So very basic crocheting skills. We'll start with what type of crochet hook and wool you can use. I'm going to use an acrylic yarn that has a weight of 4. Now you'll find this on the sleeve of your ball of yarn. And I'm going to go with the recommended crochet hook size. So on this one here it shows 5.5 millimeter. And my crochet hook that I have here, I don't know if we can see it with the camera, says 5.5 millimeters. I really like the size of this hook and the weight of this yarn. To hold your crochet hook, now I'm right-handed, so this is only really good for right-handed people. I hold it like this. So they call this a knife hold, just like you hold your knife when you're eating your meal. Okay, so just under my hand, my thumb is keeping it against my fingers, and this is how I'm going to hold my crochet hook. Here's the yarn. There are many different ways that people will hold their yarn to create tension, and you need to have tension so that your stitches are even. So this is the way that I do it. There are other ways to do it. So I will take the yarn. Here's my tail end of the yarn. Here is the working end of the yarn. And I will wrap it around my small finger. And I will go across the back of my hand up to the middle finger, and then it's going to go around my pointer finger. Okay, so try that. Go around. So the yarn is basically on the back side of my hand as I'm holding it here. I'm going to go around my small finger, across the back of my fingers, and around. Now, where the yarn is wrapped around my small finger, this is going to create tension. So as I'm pulling the yarn, the tension going across my small finger, because it's wrapped around there, that will give me tension so that my yarn is not going to be too loose. So that's where my tension comes from. Okay, so just practice that a few times. You can rewind and have a look at that. We're going to start with a simple chain. So in order to start our chain, we need to make what's called a slip knot. So to make a very easy slip knot, you take the tail end of your yarn, lay it over the working end of your yarn. Now you've created a loop. We're going to go through that loop with our fingers, and we're going to grab a hold of the tail end of the yarn. So I'm going to go through that loop. I'm going to hold on to the tail end of the yarn. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm not pulling it all the way through, and that will create a little loop. You can see this loop, if I were to pull with the tail end, becomes smaller. So we can put our hook in there, pull on the tail end, and it will just tighten up against the hook. Now that we have our hook in this hand, we need to get our yarn set up on this hand. I will take my small finger, because remember I have to wrap it around there twice, and go around like this, over the back of my fingers, and across the top. Okay, so you got to squeeze your fingers in back there to keep everything tight. My thumb over here will help to hold my work. Okay, so I have my slip knot. The hook is through that loop, and now we're going to make our first chain. So we have to bring the yarn over the hook, See, we have it there, and you just guide that through that loop. You've just made one chain. Again, we bring the yarn over our hook, and we're holding with our thumb over here. Pull it through the loop. Yarn over, so see how I'm twisting with my hand to bring the yarn over. Pull it through that loop. And as our chain gets longer, we have to move our thumb up closer to the hook. So I'll twist my hook to bring the yarn over, pull it through. Twist my hook, yarn over, pull it through. And you can see that you have to gently start releasing the yarn that's in your hand. It has to start sliding through your fingers. So you have to just practice this until it feels comfortable. So yarn over, twist your hook to bring the yarn over, pull it through that loop. Yarn over, pull it through the loop. Yarn over, pull it through the loop. So I have created a chain that's this long right now. So just keep practicing. One of the biggest things is to also figure out how to get that yarn back onto your hand. So start with your small finger, wrap it around, go across the back, across the front. Okay, so you got to start with the small finger, yarn it around, goes across the back of these 3 fingers and around to the front, and you're holding your work with this thumb. So your left hand is very important when you're crocheting. Your right hand is just turning your hook and pulling it through. Okay, so just practice doing a chain until you feel comfortable that the yarn is sliding through your fingers well. And when you look back on your chain, if you lay it down, you can see that all of the chains are about the same size. When you feel that the chain seems pretty easy, then we'll come back and we'll do the next one, which will be a single crochet. Now that you've practiced the chain, now let's do a single crochet. So we're going to start the same way. We have to start with the chain. So we're going to take our tail end, put it over the working end, and just pull through a loop. Put your hook in there. Now we'll set up our yarn on our hand. So around that small finger, across the back of our fingers and over our index finger. So we're going to do a chain of 10 so that we can do 10 single crochets in our next row. So let's do our 10 first, and then we're going to do an extra chain at the end, and I'll tell you why when we get there. So yarn over, pull through your loop, that's 1. Yarn over, pull through, that's 2. Yarn over, pull through, that's 3. Yarn over, pull through, that's 4. Yarn over, pull through, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have a chain of 10 here. So we want to do 10 single crochets in our next row. But in order to go from this row of chains to our next row, we have to do one more chain. And that's going to give us the space to bring our yarn from this row up to the next row. So when you look at your chains now, This was the last one we made, so that was 11. We'll go back one, that's 10. So we're going to go into that one. We're skipping one chain and we're going to go over here. And you're going to insert your hook. You can see the V of this stitch. We're going to go right through that. You're going to put your yarn over your hook. Give it a turn a little bit so you can secure it under there. You're going to pull it through that chain. Now we have 2 pieces of yarn on our hook. We're going to put the yarn over our hook again and just pull it through both of those loops that we have. So that is a single crochet. We've done one, so we're going to do another one. We're going to move to our next chain over. Put your hook through those 2 pieces of yarn there in that chain. Okay, so you've gone through, you're going to hook your yarn again, so that's called yarn over. Twist it so that you have it secure on that hook. Pull it through. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and you're going to pull through both of those. So that's 2 single crochets. Let's do our third one. So we're going to go through that chain, yarn over, pull through that chain loop that we went through. We have 2 on our hook, yarn over again, pull through both of them. So we've just made 3 single crochets. So now let's go through our next chain, yarn over, pull through. We have 2 on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2 of them. That was 4, so let's go through the next one. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both of them. That's 5. Let's do our next one. So we're going to go through that next chain, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 of them. We're going to go through the next chain, yarn over, pull through a loop, and pull through both of them. We've got 3 more, 1, 2, 3. So we'll go through our next chain, yarn over, pull through that, yarn over, pull through both. We'll insert our hook into the second last one, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. One more time, so we're going to go through our chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both of them. We've made a chain on the bottom. Now we have a row of single crochets, and we can count our stitches by counting these V's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 stitches, single crochets. So you can continue practicing those, take it out, start again. If you want to make a chain of 20, to do 20 single crochets, remember to add 1 more at the end. So 21, and then single crochet all the way back. When you feel that you're comfortable with the single crochets, we're going to do double crochets. We'll do the double crochets right after these single crochets that we've just done. So we're at the end of a row. Now we're going to learn how to do double crochets. We've finished this row, so we're going to work backwards again. So we need to add some stitches to the side. If we were doing a single crochet row, we would need 1 chain, but because we're going to do double crochets, we're going to do 2 chains. So right here at the end of this row, Just yarn over, pull through your loop, that's one chain. Yarn over, pull through the loop again, you've just made 2 chains. Now we're going to turn our work. Okay, so we're going to learn how to do a double crochet. First, I want you to look at this row down here. See the space below our V. That's where we're going to go. So we see a V there, and there's a space below it. That's where we're going to be inserting our hook. Okay, so here, we'll start over here, right there. Now to do a double crochet, we need to yarn over first. And then we have 2 loops on our hook. Then we're going to go through our space. So I've gone through both pieces of yarn that created that V. I'm going to yarn over and pull back through. Now I've got 3 loops on my hook. So I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to pull through the first 2. Now I still have 2 on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to pull through the next 2. So that's called a double crochet. With single, we were just, when we pulled back, we just had 2 on our hook, and we yarned over and pulled through 2. Typically, you're pulling through 2 loops at a time. There are some stitches that you pull through more than 2 loops. So yarn over. We're going to go through this next, under this next V. Okay, so we've brought it out, yarn over, pull back through there. We have 3 loops on our hook. Like I said, typically you only pull through 2 at a time, so yarn over, pull through your first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. So we've just done 2 double crochets. Here's our chain 2, which gave us the height to start working over here. Because if you don't put those extra chains at the end, your work is not going to be straight over here. It's going to curve in. So we've got a double crochet, a double crochet. We're going to go into our next space right there. First we're going to yarn over, go between that V, go under that V, yarn over. Remember, twist your hook a little bit. That keeps it locked under there. Pull it through. You've got 3 loops, so yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So yarn over again, go through the next space, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Yarn over, go through our next space, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over, go through our next space. So yarn over, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Yarn over, go through our next space, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. So if we look at this row, we can see I've got 1, 2, 3 more spaces left, 3 more stitches left. So yarn over, I'm going to go under that next stitch, that both pieces of yarn, that V, yarn over, pull back a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through the next 2. Yarn over, I'm going to go through the next stitch, yarn over, pull back, loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Okay, and we've got to make sure we get this last one. Sometimes that last one likes to sink down a little bit, but if we don't get it, our work is not going to be even. So yarn over, So I've gone under this stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So we can see that both sides look fairly straight. And you can even see the look of the double crochets there. It's a taller stitch. Let's turn it back this way. Our single crochets were down here. It's a shorter, more compact stitch. Double crochets are a little bit taller. So just continue practicing those double crochets until you feel comfortable. The next stitch I'm going to show you is called a treble crochet. For years I thought it was called a triple crochet, and I do hear people calling it a triple crochet, but the correct way to say it is treble crochet. So here we have my sampler where I went over the single crochet, the double crochet, so now we'll do the treble crochet. So in order to go from this row to our treble crochet row, we need to add 3 chains. The treble crochet is a taller stitch than the double crochet. So after we've chained 3, we can turn our work. So we're always working from the right side to the left side. Get your yarn set up over your fingers. Okay, so we're going to go into this stitch right here, and a treble is yarn over 2 times. So for our double, we yarned over once. For a single, we didn't put a yarn over. For a single, you just start going in without yarning over. For a double, you're going to yarn over once and go in. For a treble, you're going to yarn over twice. Okay, so then you're going to go under your stitch, and you're going to yarn over on the other side, turn your hook so you have it hooked. When you pull back a loop, you're going to see 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. So you yarn over, and typically you go through 2 loops at a time. So yarn over, you come through 2, you have 3 on your hook. Yarn over, come through 2, yarn over, come through 2. So we've really done that 3 times. So yarn over twice, go through our next stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop. Now you should have 4. So yarn over, come through 2, yarn over, come through your next 2, yarn over, come through your final 2. Okay, and you can see the difference in height between a double crochet and a treble crochet. So practice going all the way across. So yarn over twice, go under your stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through your next 2, yarn over, pull through your final 2. Then we're going to yarn over twice, go through your next stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop. Okay, so yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through your next 2, yarn over, pull through your final 2. So you put 2 around your hook, and usually I dip my hook around it. I go 1, 2. Then I dip my hook under that stitch, and I twist my hook onto the yarn, pull back a loop. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through your next 2, yarn over, pull through the final 2. So now we have our chain 3, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 treble crochets. Yarn over twice. Can you hear my dog snoring next to me? Pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2, and yarn over, pull through the final 2. So yarn over twice, go under that stitch, go through, pull back a loop. We've got 4, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over, pull through the final 2. You can see we've got 1, 2, 3 more stitches left. We can also count our stitches as we go. So we're not counting our chain 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yarn over twice, go through this next stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over, pull through the final 2. Do the last 2 without saying anything. You could just watch. Okay, so these are single crochets, we have double crochets, and these are treble crochets. The last one that I'm going to show right here is going to be a half double crochet. So at the end, we're going to do chain 2. So pull through a loop once, that's one chain, yarn over, pull through second time, that's a second chain. Then we're going to turn our work. Now we're going to start a half double crochet just like we started a double crochet. So yarn over, go through that stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop. Typically you pull through 2 loops on your hook, but for a half double crochet we have 3 on our hook. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all 3. So remember, yarn over, put through your stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop. You have 3, so we're just going to pull through all 3. That's a half double crochet. Yarn over, go through your stitch, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, go through our next stitch, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So yarn over, go through our stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, go through our next stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop. We have 3 on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, go through that stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop, and yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, go through our next stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. I can count over here. Let's see how many stitches I should have left. There's a V, there's our next V, so 2 stitches. So yarn over, let's go through this one, pull back a loop, yarn over, let's pull through all 3. The last one, yarn over, let's go through that stitch, yarn over, pull back a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. If you're ever laying your work down just to have a look at it, it's always a good idea to pull this loop that you're working with long so that you don't lose any of your stitches. That's what I always do when I stop working on something for the day. I always pull a long loop out. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's our 10th one over there. But I just have that loop pulled out. So single crochets, double crochets, treble crochets, half double crochets. Those are your basic stitches that you will use in very simple crochet projects.